Welcome back to This is a Commander channel, where this is a Commander channel, and today I'm going to be talking about Commander Tough Rules and Cool Interactions, episode 199. Today's episode is going to take a look at the Firebending ability in the upcoming Avatar set. We got a bunch of spoilers from the set today. I'm releasing this the day after. And I noticed that these bending abilities are not necessarily on the cards that match the color that you would think of them just from the name alone. Like water bending is not just on cards with blue. I'm also not familiar with the Avatar show, so I can't comment on the flavor of it all, but from a Magic player's perspective, this is pretty interesting, especially when you look at Firebending. When you look at the card like Boiling Rock Rioter, you might want to run it in your ally deck. Or when you look at a card like Azula Ruthless Firebender, you might want to run it in your experience counter deck. But what if those decks don't have a red color identity? Can you still run them in those non-red decks? Also, there are some bonus rules bits about Firebending after the identity section of this video, so be sure to stick around for that. Luckily, the answer is yes, you can indeed run them, as these cards do not have a red color identity to them, despite the red mana symbol showing up on some of the cards. This is a kind of similar thing. It's a wording specific thing, kind of, as to why something like City of Brass can be in any deck, even a colorless deck, despite a card like Crystal Quarry cannot, even though both are capable of producing any and all of the WUBRG colors. It's all about what's in the card text. Some of you might be familiar with cards that have Extort on them, like Crypt Ghast, being able to be run in a mono-black deck, even though the Extort ability has the Orzhov hybrid mana symbol on the card. And this whole Firebending situation is very similar to that. For both of these abilities, their mana symbol is only showing up in the parentheses or italicized reminder text of the card. The comprehensive rules covers all of this text box type stuff in CR 207.2, and specifically it focuses on reminder text in 207.2a, so be sure to check that out. But essentially, reminder text is not actually part of the card text. So when we look at a card with Firebending, like on this Azula, she only has a black color identity. She can go into any deck with black as its color identity as part of it, even if that deck has no red color identity a part of it. And if she is your commander, then you cannot run any red cards in the deck with her, again, because that would just be a mono-red deck, not Rakdos. If you're running a Minthara Merciless Soul deck, or if you're running a Daxos the Returned deck, then feel free to include this Azula in your deck if you're wanting to get even more experience counters. One thing that I will say is that the card Fire Lord Ozai, apologies if I'm mispronouncing that, is not a card that has Firebending on it, so despite it looking pretty close, it does have a triggered ability on it that actually contains the red mana symbol in the text of the ability, and therefore it is a red and black color identity card. Now, on to some additional rules info about Firebending, just to be aware of. When looking at these two cards side by side, they might look like their abilities that produce mana are similar. They are indeed triggered abilities that do produce mana, but are they triggered mana abilities? Some of you might be wondering why I phrased it like that, and more importantly, why does it matter? This is because normally abilities use the stack, whether they are activated abilities or triggered abilities. However, mana abilities do not use the stack. This is important because there are a lot of ways to copy triggered abilities in Magic. So what are these abilities on these cards? CR 605.1b states that a triggered ability is a mana ability if it meets all of the following criteria. It doesn't require a target. It triggers from the activation or resolution of an activated mana ability or from mana being added to a player's mana pool. And it could add mana to a player's mana pool when it resolves. The Wild Growth meets all three of these requirements, and it is therefore a triggered mana ability, but the Firebending only meets the first and third requirements. The trigger event is from attacking with the creature, and therefore it is not a triggered mana ability. This means that you can use any kind of Strionic Resonator type effect to copy the Firebending abilities that you see on cards like Fire Lord Zuko. Oh, again, hopefully I pronounced that correct. And also, do you not see the ability that he has? You don't see his mana? The Firebending? Yes, that's because this is a full art card for a new card with a whole bunch of text on it. My bad. I don't know why I showed that here. I don't know why they make these full text, full art, whatever. That's a story for another day. Here you go. He has a Firebending X ability that can get to be a rather large number, so copying it could prove to be very beneficial. Now, on the flip side of things, this also means that your opponents can counter your Firebending abilities, so be wary of that happening in a more cutthroat game of Commander in which stifling type stuff is more common. And the final bonus bit is that a card like Mana Reflection will not increase the mana produced from a Firebending creature tapping down to attack, even if they don't have Vigilance and they actually are tapping in order to attack. Yes, they are being tapped to attack, and that is then leading to the production of mana, but you're not actually tapping the permanent in order to make the mana. That's just something that happens as a result. You're tapping them in order to declare them as an attack. This is like the differences between correlation and causation. One causes the other, and then another thing is just correlated with something happening. Anyhow, that's all I've got for today's episode. As always, I hope that all of you found this video to be entertaining at least, and I hope that a few of you have even learned something about the crazy rules in this great game of Magic. Have a good one. Ta-ta. And sorry if I sounded a little nasally in this episode. I picked my parents up from China recently, and my mom caught a little bug while in the flight back, so I've been a little nasally. And yeah, I've also kind of been sleep deprived from playing so much Battlefield 6. Halloween's coming up soon. Hopefully I get healthy by then. Pretty excited for that. But I'm very interested in looking at more spoilers from another set coming out. I have a Shrines deck, so I'm very excited to see these Shrines and other cards that care about Shrines that we've seen so far. So yeah, hope you guys have a good one. Hope you guys are having a fun spooky season and enjoy your Halloween. Ta-ta.